Hey everyone, this is Dave Cooper, and we are on location right now in Whisper Valley outside of Austin, Texas. And this is going to be a lot of fun to talk about because we are in a community that is 2,000 acres, master plan. It's all about energy efficiency. It's all about affordability, and it's about living healthy. I mean, this is such a fun place to be that we have to bring it to everybody that is out there. And sitting with me is the developer, Douglas Gilliland.
Yes,
I got the name right, Douglas.
Dave, you got it right. You got it right. Welcome to Whisper Valley. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So we're going to start off this episode because we're here with the Housing Innovation Alliance, and they're standing at the front door of this community. Should we bring them in?
But let's do it. We'll have fun.
Hey, what's happened? Dennis Steigerwalt and Betsy Scott, Housing Innovation Alliance. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're great. Thanks, Dave.
So tell us a little bit about where you're at. And Betsy, are you going to climb into that cow field over there and get some shots with the cows?
I don't know about that. I don't think I have the shoes on for that one, but we're excited. And normally, if you've been on one of our roads with us, but we wanted to make this experience fun and bring as much to you from the field as we can. So we're literally in the field right now.
Yeah, you are in the field, literally. So listen, guys, tell us why this trip is so important. I mean, we're looking at collaboration, we're looking at innovation, we're working with some of meeting with some and interviewing some of the best minds in the industry that are not doing the status quo. They're taking it to the next level, which I think is so important to talk about. What are your feelings?
Yeah, I think we're excited. Douglas is fantastic integrity. Making
he's a little far away.
Placemaking from a sustainability technology done here. I just put that with it.
Yeah, if you guys could move a little bit closer to the phone. You're breaking up on what you were saying. So just for fun, Dennis, say that same thing all over again.
Dude, on my charge though, Dave.
Yeah.
So what we're excited most about is example of placement. Hard to match anywhere. If you look at what Douglas and the Taurus ability, innovation, technology, it brings together one of the top residents.
Yeah, so we're losing you guys on the audio, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm going to come back to you in just a little bit, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, so it's like watching the news and the guys in the field and everything goes, right? So, well, let's hop into this a little bit, Doug, because we also have Tom that's going to be joining us, Tom Lynch. He's going to his home over Pacesetter, where he actually is a builder within this community. And he's going to hopefully live stream from his location over there. So this is going to be super, super interactive, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this. So, Doug, tell us in the audience, how'd you come up with this brilliant idea? Let's talk about how the idea came about, and then why don't you explain to us what the community really is about?
Well, it's about bringing together some different branding ideas. It's a new type of community format. So when we think about moving forward into the community or into the future with communities, we think about lifestyle. And we think about emerging trends. And we think about how can we bring those trends into the community in a way that our families enjoy and that they can afford. So if you look at Whisper Valley, there are some high-level branding ideas. It is 2,000 acres. We believe in healthy living, so we've committed about 700 acres of our land to open space and healthy activities. We believe in technology. We think that's changing the housing industry. So we know that internet services, super fast internet service is very important. So we have a very interesting relationship with Google Fiber. But the thing that probably defines us most is our commitment to sustainable principles. So stewardship of the land. We see a lot of social commentary about the use of resources. We sort of see our society moving from this carbon-based society to a renewable society. And so we sort of asked ourselves the question, how do we do that in the housing industry? What do we do to really put some meat on the bone for sustainable principles? So we spent about 5 years working on a model to bring sustainability into the community. We started a company through Taurus Investment Holdings called EcoSmart Solution. And EcoSmart is an energy delivery company that does it in a very green, efficient way. So the benefit to our homeowners, they like the idea that they can be friendly to the earth and save money at the same time. Yeah. We brought a technology forward that's a new combination of energy delivery. We have a very unique system called the Geo Grid using geothermal energy, and we're combining that technology, putting products in the home that make the home operate more efficiently. And then we're adding a solar component, which produces energy. The effect of this entire system is to allow us to build zero energy capable homes. That's new. Mm-hmm. That's way ahead of the most energy codes.
Yeah.
So we're finding our families really like to be a part of a community where they can save money and they can be good stewards of the earth. So
yeah, for sure.
We found a new niche, and of course they love the healthy living aspect of it. We do certain things like organic farming.
Right.
Lots of open space activities, dog park, of course, a resort style pool, fitness center. And then we have a full-time lifestyle director that really organizes all of that. And so our families like that healthy style. Our lifestyle director coordinates a lot of that activity. So we're doing all of that within a very affordable framework. So that's one of the other important things to us, is that this type of lifestyle is available to the first-time home buyer.
Right. And so that's, I mean, it's really interesting. So when you know, net zero ready homes, right? Just so people really understand what that means, because, you know, I hear that a lot. And in this community, these homes are net zero capable. And what that means is if they live properly within their homes, it's zero energy.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly what it is. So it's not that you have to add solar to be ready to achieve it. It's already set up for success. But if you leave the lights on and the AC running and your doors and windows open,
that's exactly
it's
right.
Out the window. So these homes are already set up for that.
Yeah. And what we're finding is people are interested in their own energy behavior.
Yeah.
They're interested in knowing how they can live more efficiently. So we're doing some very cutting edge things with EcoSmart in that we're actually monitoring the performance of the home.
Yeah.
So that we can actually show people how to live in an environmentally sensitive way and keep those utility bills down.
Yeah.
It's working very well.
Yeah, and it's amazing because it's kind of a community where everybody can hold everybody else, you know, kind of responsible to their own doings, right? Yes. So there's technology in these houses as well. I was asking yesterday when we were visiting, you know, so if I had one of these homes and my kids were in this house and they were leaving their light on all the time and they're the reason for my $10 electric bill, I know where to make a change.
That's exactly right.
I love it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
No, we're finding that the technology inside the homes, there are things that we can do through Google Nest and other devices that just allows the home to operate more efficiently and to keep those energy bills down. And again, our consumers really like that.
Yeah, listen, who wouldn't like that? You come into a community and you buy a house and you, for the most part, can predict what your costs are. When we talk about what's happened lately with COVID and so many people out of work or so many people working on half pay, right? Because a lot of people didn't get laid off, but they got half pay. It just makes life so much easier to budget and not find yourself digging deeper and deeper. And on top of that, there's community gardens here that are run by the community.
Yes.
The volunteers, and if I understand correctly, the volunteers that run the gardens have first pick, but then all the other produce comes to the center here for all the other residents.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Well, we found that people really like to know where their food is grown. We found that people, given the choice, like to live healthier. So we give them that opportunity. We have micro gardens throughout the community. Right. We have a full-time farmer that comes in and manages this for them. And what we find is people like to participate. Yeah. So we have volunteer programs, education programs. And then when we harvest, we allow it to go to the families that are working in the gardens and the rest of our residents.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I think we're at the gardens. You want to check it out?
Let's
take
see if we
can get the feed better.
Welcome to the gardens.
I'm gonna have to give Dennis and Betsy a hard time here. So Dennis, Betsy, are you guys still with us there? I think they went over to help Tom. Hey, so there's a picture of the garden, but listen to this. So we're going to come back to that so Dennis and those can show us. But that's one of the garden views that we're looking at there. And behind it is the community. I mean,
Exactly.
literally, these are across the street.
Yeah.
On what's happening, for sure.
Well, we like the idea, and our residents like the idea that those gardens are close by.
Right.
So when they leave their home, they can very quickly go down, they can look at it, they can participate in it. And we have it in different neighborhoods. So it's not just one local garden, it's interspersed throughout our community.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely fabulous. I'm just going to blow it up so everybody can see the size of it. I mean, these are big gardens. That's only one. When we were over there, and when they come back, we're going to see, I mean, they're set up all along the other side of the road, where normally in a subdivision, you'd have other houses.
That's
but
exactly
in this
right.
one, you get to look out the window. And that's right, Dennis, we have you on. So listen, let me unmute you guys, or unmute yourself there, and let's see.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we figured out all the sound issues. Can you hear us loud and clear?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, and we got Tom on in his model home, so we'll bring him in here in a little bit. So listen, guys, so we were just talking about the vegetables. Betsy, if you could climb over there and grab me a tomato, right?
Well, you know,
I just want to show people how fresh the produce is here.
I'd be able to reach in here and grab something for you.
We actually have a few community members over at the next farm over picking vegetables now. So we'll bring a fresh stash back to the studio here shortly.
I love it. I love it. I think it's great. So, I mean, so you have that garden there, right? And then there's another garden. Is it to the right of you or to behind you, you said?
It's far back there. It kind of stretches all the way toward the entrance to the community.
I love it. I love it. You guys having a good time out there?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd have to tell my husband about this because he manages our garden at home. And we always have leftover stuff. He would say, hey, you could take it to the whole neighborhood at the Discovery Center here. So that's really fun.
Oh, yeah, he's going to love me. Thanks. I love it. I love it.
What you can't see here, Dave, is so we actually have a kids' playground and a set of picnic tables right here as well. So when mom and dad are over here picking the vegetables, you got plenty of area for the kids to do their thing and enjoy their time out here this afternoon. As a matter of fact, I think this is where I'm having lunch.
That's it. I love it. Hey, maybe we'll live stream from there later on this afternoon. So, but you're absolutely right. And I'm going to leave you guys involved here for a moment. So within this community, and we're going to get back to the technology and some of the other things in the homes, but there's, you said 700 acres.
Yes, of open space.
Of open space. So that's hiking trails. What does that involve?
What we found is that we've set up a hierarchy of parks. So we have a very large master park, Whisper Valley Park, at 600 acres. And then if you look at our park plan, you'll see a spine of pedestrian trails that go out into every neighborhood.
Right.
So our zoning allows for sort of a clustered density, a lot of different lot sizes. Right. And it allows people who might have a little bit smaller lot to get out of their house into a park within moments. So the idea is to have neighborhood parks, lots of connectivity, and then a large park that's connected to other regional parks. Yeah. So that open space is a very important part of our branding in general. People want to be outside. People will live in a smaller yard and have less maintenance in the yard if there's lots of recreation in the community where they can get out and be healthy.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. In a safe community too.
Very safe community.
This is such a, I mean, for kids to play around. I have 3 kids, you know, it really is it's a big deal. They would love it. Yeah. They would love it. Oh, wait until you see the rec center, you know, and then where we're going to come to. Hey, just so everybody knows, and I'm going to say it publicly, Dennis and Betsy both agreed to do the last shot from the swimming pool in the pool. So, all right, listen, you guys, we're gonna keep rocking and rolling here. So we look forward to seeing you at your next location as we go, and we're going to continue our conversation. We're going to bring Tom in, and we'll catch up with you in a little bit. Sound good?
Sounds great. Plan.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Douglas.
All right. See you in a bit. All right. So how fun is this, right?
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
Enjoy watching the whole team. This is good.
Yeah. It is fun. It is fun. You know, so everybody sees me looking down here because that's where the computer is and we're monitoring. All right. So Doug, I have some questions that I wrote down, you know, so I think some of these questions, you know, are kind of pertinent to, this is your first development like this, correct?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Right. So one of the questions is, you know, is Whisper Valley, what needs of the community is this serving in your mind for Austin?
Well, if I were to simplify that, I would say that it is giving a better quality of lifestyle at an attainable price. Now I say attainable as opposed to affordable because we have different price points. People have different abilities. But we have found that people see a tremendous amount of value here.
Yeah.
And so it fulfills their expectations. It has just worked very well for them.
Yeah, I can believe that. Just what's not to like? What's fun about it? We're not only going to talk to other folks within the organization, we're actually going to be interviewing some of the homeowners. It won't be live.
You'll enjoy it.
We can't go live that often, but we're going to put that content out right away, and we're going to learn firsthand how valuable this is to the consumer.
Yeah.
Because this is what it's designed for.
What we found that they can afford to live here. They get more value here. And one of the great things with the EcoSmart green investment, their home is more valuable.
Yeah.
So it actually makes the house more sellable on a resale basis. They're investing in green technology in their home. Each homeowner is spending between $25,000 to $40,000. But if they were to do those investments individually, a home at a time, it would cost twice that much.
Oh, easily.
So what we have found is by setting up this technology the way we have and delivering it the way we do, our homes are affordable to everybody from a first-time, second-time home buyer. So this type of lifestyle is a new kind of lifestyle that allows people to afford it and have quality of life. Those are our goals.
Absolutely. I agreed. And we're going to go to one of those homes here shortly. So listen, if you are just joining us, we are in Whisper Valley outside of Austin, Texas. And I am sitting here with Doug Gilliland. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to get it right. The developer of this community from Taurus Investment Holdings. So please hit that like and share button. And if you're not following along, please follow along on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, and always subscribe to our channels as well, so you always get the latest information. I mean, we're coming to you from state-of-the-art places these days, and this is what's so much fun with forward thinkers. So, all right, question number 2, Douglas. How do the qualities of Whisper Valley differ from other communities you've delivered in the past? And is it changing the way you think about future developments that you do?
Yeah. Well, traditional planned communities are available in this marketplace. I think the differentiator is our commitment to sustainable development principles. So you can go to other communities and find open space, you can find amenities and so forth, you can find affordability, but to combine all of that with the environmental sensitivity is a difference maker.
Yeah.
And what our consumers say to us most of the time is, gosh, I didn't know it was here. I've been out shopping communities that I can afford and that offer different kinds of lifestyles, but you offer something more. And so that's the key. I think our sustainable principle really sets us apart.
Yeah, very, very much so. I mean, there's no other community that I know like this, and I think that's a big.
Well, we were very fortunate to be recognized as the most sustainable community in the country last year by Green Builder Media. And we're getting a tremendous amount of attention. It's always nice to have validation with awards by your peer group, but the biggest validation is just people's satisfaction. Our sales, as we move into our additional phases that we're doing right now, are accelerating. And we're finding more and more builders want to be here, more and more consumers want this kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I want this lifestyle. I may be calling my wife and kids and telling them to pack their bags.
Come on.
This is great. To know what my utility bills are for the most part every month, you can't beat it. All right. So let me ask you another question then here. So third question, you created a separate entity while developing Whisper Valley called EcoSmart Solutions, who we're going to have on the show here. So this is a 3-part question. First one is why. Second one is what role have they played in developing in this community? And how will they engage with Taurus in the housing industry moving forward?
So we found that the separate company could really focus on the sustainable component. And so EcoSmart allows us as a developer to deploy a certain technology that EcoSmart provides. And we do what's called a Geo Grid. And the Geo Grid is a unique energy distribution program. So that separate company manages that distribution program. All EcoSmart does is concentrate on putting the sustainable features into the community. So they do the Geo Grid, they look at the homes and advise on the technology that goes in the homes. They help us put the solar and design for that side of it into the homes. So they work closely with us as a developer. EcoSmart as a company can go to any development. So what we have found is that other developers, after we learned how to deploy that technology, would also like to have a sustainable type community. So we separated the two. We have the branch that I spend most of my time in, your more traditional planned community. But then we have this separate group of specialists in energy delivery that have come in and helped us. They're really integrating the Geo Grid with our technology, with our streets and infrastructure.
And seeing is believing. And we're here seeing it and completely believing it. We have some of this technology sitting behind us, and I think now would be a good time to go to Tom from Pacesetter and bring him in to this conversation, because as a builder within this community, he'll really be able to speak to what it was like, doing a net zero home if he hasn't done them in the past, and understanding, the requirements and what they had to do to meet those requirements to build a zero energy style home. So why don't we go to Tom? You want to go,
Great,
Tom?
let's do.
All right, Tom, we're coming. I hope you're ready for us. Tom Lynch, how are you?
Good morning. Very good, Dave. How are you? Douglas?
Great. Douglas and I are sitting here having a great conversation, and I can tell you he had nothing but great things to say about you.
Absolutely true.
Yeah. So, all right, Douglas, Tom, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you are? Like, obviously, you're standing in a kitchen, but can you share with us a little bit about what it's like being a builder and that's as high tech as this one?
Sure. I think I met Douglas in 2015, where he had called me on the telephone and said, "Hey, Tom Lynch, I'd like to introduce myself, Douglas Gilliland. Have you heard about Whisper Valley?" And I told him, I said, "Douglas, I have heard about Whisper Valley, but really don't know a lot about it. Tell me more." And so he said, "Well, Tom, we have a 2,200 acre master planned neighborhood here that we're developing, but we're putting in an infrastructure where you'll be able to deliver homes with a net zero energy capability." And I said, "Oh, really? That sounds interesting. And how do you do that?" He talked a little bit about the geothermal and a combination of the solar program. So from there, he invited me out to take a tour. It was the right time because his lots were under development. The geothermal station was under development, as well as the lines that they were putting in the ground. So was very impressed with that, and wanted to learn more about how we could enter this one-of-a-kind sustainable neighborhood.
Yeah, for sure. So we were just getting into the technology portion of what we were going to talk about. What's really going into these homes. So we know we have Google fiber optics here, and that's a big deal. Just having this running here.
Very important.
And just so you know, Google, we are using it right now for this live stream. So we tapped into it, and it's working great so far. Let us know what you think about it out there in the community. So, Tom, why don't you tell us, about some of the technology that is incorporated in each of your homes in this community?
Well, each of our homes, we have a BOSCH air handler for the geothermal system, and that's a system that saves a lot of energy. And combined with the solar unit, which provides the electrical energy, it's a very efficient process for the efficient home. We also have the Nest thermostat, which has a great memory service that provides energy efficiency, especially when you're not in your home. Not to mention the Google Fiber high speed.
Yeah, sure. And then you have the technology to manage it all through apps and what have you, that most people today, it's second nature to be able to use your phone, use an app to manage what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the homes are great, the neighborhood is great. There's a big population in the Austin market that likes this kind of lifestyle. And you would have thought that building a home like this would be difficult, but meeting Douglas and his EcoSmart team, we worked together to make sure that the process was easy and that we could deliver an affordable or attainable home at a price where folks could buy, whether they were entry level or move up buyer.
Yeah, that's a great point, Douglas. Right, so affordable.
Mm-hmm.
affordable houses that have some of the latest technology. The two normally don't go hand in hand.
That's right.
And I think, once we get a little further into it, how does one do that? And why aren't more people doing this and bringing all this good technology together to better people's lives, give them healthier homes to live in, right? And help them just in general with their lives financially.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a big deal.
Well, and Dave, if you think about it for a moment, geothermal is not a new technology. The benefit of having geothermal has been there for literally generations. It's used in Europe quite a bit. But the barriers typically to the production builder was that upfront installation, to be able to put the pipes into the ground and to have any kind of volume. They couldn't do that. And so they just didn't embrace that because of the difficulty up front. Historically also, there was that front end investment. And typically you would have an affluent buyer who would spend that extra money to get that efficiency, and then they'd get a payback over years with the savings. What makes us different is that instead of just appealing to that custom market, we brought that drilling process and that installation process at the developer level. Instead of asking the builder to do it when they build their home, production builders won't do that. So we looked at it as another infrastructure. When we put in the water lines, the sewer lines, the streets, we put a simple borehole on each lot. We connected those all together into a district system. So all the builder has to do is hook on.
Connect.
And it's really important because production builders give value. And if they don't have to change their floor plans, if they can basically bring successful floor plans into the community, and there's just a simple hookup point,
right?
They don't have to change other than putting a ground source heat pump into the home, and that replaces the traditional HVAC system. They're done. And just by having that system in their traditional home, they're reducing energy consumption. It becomes very environmentally sustainable and efficient in terms of operating. And then we just work with them to put solar to produce energy.
Sure.
So we can bring that affordable home into the community, into a great environment like this, make it easy for them to hook up. And then we have great consumer reaction. We're so proud of Tom. He's an innovator. We're working with more and more builders who really want to move into this space.
Right.
But it's difficult to do it just as a builder. When they think about putting energy efficient appliances and materials into a home, you can get there, but it's very expensive.
Right.
Whereas what we're doing by putting the Geo Grid in the ground up front, we reduce that cost, and then we allow them to bring their traditional product in and make it easy to hook onto. So it's a great blend of the technology with traditional building methods by production builders. And the last thing I would say is that it's very affordable to the consumer. Lenders love green mortgages. So we're adding about $25,000 to $40,000 a house, but the consumer doesn't have to come out of pocket up front. They can actually put that in their mortgage. We have no appraisal problems, underwriting problems. Lenders like green buyers. And so their monthly payment might go up a little bit to offset that cost, but their energy bill goes down.
Well, that's it. That's a great point, because we've been talking about this on some other shows, and what a lot of people don't understand, that extra 30 grand, 40 grand, or whatever it is to meet the standards to get to a net zero. If you live properly within your home, the savings that you will have over the life of that house versus that extra money you're paying on the mortgage, you can't compare the two.
It
You save
offsets
a lot more money. Yeah, right.
And so you can afford it, and your house becomes more valuable.
Yeah.
The appraisal goes up. People appreciate buying houses like that, so the resale value is greater.
Yeah, 100%.
Win-win-win.
For sure. So, hey, Tom, do you think, can you be a little mobile for us? You want to give everybody kind of a view of what you have in your house there?
We'll see if we can do that.
Yeah. Give it a try. Let's see.
All right. So this is a plan we call the Veloway. It's about 1,700 square feet. And I think, maybe we'll just walk right up to the upstairs here and take a look at the air handler. I
love it. Perfect.
Yeah. But the one thing that Douglas mentioned, we're able to use all of our great selling floor plans here in Whisper Valley that we currently have. We didn't have to bring in really any new product or create anything new. We just had to learn how to work with their system and install it in the home. It was very easy. But we have not an air conditioned attic, but a climate controlled attic with the air handlers here. Very clean. But the Velaway is a 3-bedroom home with a loft. One of our top sellers in the Austin market. And of course, we took in the Austin music scene for some of the model home decorating, as you might see.
Oh, that's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tom, how's your experience been, learning this type of home and building it? And I'd be curious, your perspective as well on, the type of consumer that's buying this home, because typically it's a pretty educated consumer.
Yeah, typically it's a very educated consumer, and they're very energy conscious. Lifestyle is important to them, and oftentimes in years past, folks would come into our model homes, be asking for this kind of particular lifestyle. But when you really, it was hard to provide for them, and if you could even get to a pricing structure that it kind of was very hard for them to realize the value of that. And what Whisper Valley does is it brings that value in. It's just an amazing, simple program that they have here. The developer has provided everything for us to hook into. It's as easy as hooking into, your general utilities as well. So there's really not a very stiff learning curve here at all. And Douglas's team is incredible in training, our sales team and our construction team to get the job done right.
Sure. Well, that's what you're saying. All that infrastructure and everything was in. They brought back some vegetables. Look at this, everybody. So Dennis and Betsy have swung by, and they actually brought back vegetables from the garden. How cool is that?
Isn't that great?
It is great.
That's a lot of fun.
That is a lot of fun.
And by the way, it tastes great.
I mean, this is fresh. It still has the dirt on it. I love it. So thank you, Dennis and Betsy. But this is what you can expect when you live here.
Absolutely.
You can walk in here and all of a sudden you have fresh vegetables and everything moving forward. And I think that's absolutely amazing. All right. So Tom, it sounds to me as a builder working with Douglas, and his team on this, that, it was a really great process.
It was a surprisingly simple process for us. They were arm in arm with us the entire way as we got started. We were first in. So as a builder, we chose to build actually the first 12 homes, our Portico series, before we even tried to sell a home, so that we made sure that we understood the process, and that we weren't conveying to the customer things that were not possible or were not true. And so we prototyped before we went to sale. And the Taurus group was an incredible partner, still is each and every day. You learn a lot as you go through the process together. We probably have built 100 homes in here, and we are waiting where we actually are starting homes in phase 2 right now, and couldn't be happier.
Yes,
Whisper
100 homes.
Yeah, Whisper Valley is going to be a long-term project with a lot of different product and plenty of runway ahead for the consumer and the builders.
Yeah, definitely. How many homes is the community planned for?
This is a small city. We're entitled for about 7,500 homes. Yeah. So, and we have a range of lifestyles. So we have homes for sale, homes for rent. We're finding every niche of the market can be met here because of the zoning that we have. So we have townhomes, apartments, all the way up to different size single-family lots.
Wow, I mean that's amazing, right? And they're all net zero, capable.
Every single one.
Every single one on geothermal. You have quality builders like Pace Center
We're
Homes.
really excited about that. That's where the tire really meets the road. We as a developer can provide the platform, but it's really the builders that come in and build a great product. Right. And we just help them with that product. So that's what makes the deal work.
Well, that's, and that leads into some other questions I have, that partnership, that collaboration, And we talk about this all the time, whether you're a developer or a single family builder, how important working with builders and trades just in general, is, and having a very, very detailed plan to be successful.
You bet.
And that's super, super important. That sounds like what you guys have built. So Tom, I'm gonna talk, this is open to both of you, this question. What other strategic partners were critical to this success? So when I ask that, we're talking at the government level, manufacturers level, utilities, et cetera. Who else on both of your sides?
Well, what we have found is that there are a lot of great products in the marketplace that we become sort of a conduit between Tom and ourselves for those products to come into the homes. We call those strategic partners. Mm-hmm. So we have strategic partners with our ground source heat pumps. BOSCH has been very good. Intertech has been very good. We have strategic partners who are specialists at the geothermal grid system and the materials that go into that. So what we've become as a developer is kind of a conduit for those manufacturers to get their products on a scalable basis into the homes.
Yeah. And so from your end, Tom, why don't you talk about the government side? Like, this is a new community. I don't believe, at least I know in my neck of the woods, that most of the building inspectors that are out there and local government officials truly understand this process all the way through. So I'm assuming there were some third-party verifications that had to happen during this, right?
There are some third-party verifications. We use an engineering company local here to check our work. But, both on the government side or the inspection side and even the appraisal side, we took the time, with Douglas and his team to meet with these groups to explain, what Whisper Valley was all about and what you'll see. Kind of like in football, if you have a different play coming up that the referees have never seen, you take them aside, you explain, here's what you're going to see. So that worked very well. In our case, very simple. So the inspection process is really no tougher. It is tough in Austin, but no tougher than any other location that we build in the market.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Tom, listen, I really appreciate you taking some time to show us the house. I'm gonna put you back in the fish tank. Why don't you go outside so we can give everybody a view of the front of your home, because it's absolutely beautiful. And then we'll come back to you in just a minute. Does that sound good?
Sure, headed that way.
All right, I think it'd be great to show you the outside of that. So let's kind of build on this a little bit, Douglas, with beyond creating EcoSmart solutions, which is a whole nother thing. Like I said, we're going to talk about this afternoon. You've invested a lot of time and thought into educating the builders within this community, right? So how many builders do you have actually working in the community right now?
There are 5 now.
5. Okay.
And we have others that we're talking to as we produce new products that will be part of the program. I wanted to make one other comment, what you were asking earlier about cities. We're talking to a lot of different cities who are seeking us out, and they're looking at their land use codes. Mm-hmm. And they're actually asking us to become a part of their programs because cities really benefit by having a sustainable type of community. They really like this approach to land use. So we think it's a great partnership with cities. We think that there are builders out there that are wanting to move into that more environmentally friendly space that want to be a part of a community like this. So there are partnerships, and then with the manufacturers, there's partnerships there. Yeah. We all work together, but we find that the organizing platform is the developer. We sort of organize everything.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's behind the whole mastermind of the community, right? That's kind of how it works. Well, I see we got some people tuning in here. Let's say hello to some people. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's see. All right, we got Doug Pill. Good morning, Doug. How are you? So Doug is big in the manufacturing space. Prefab Logic has a big company in the offsite world. So CEO Doug, hey, good to see you, Doug. I hope all is well. Look forward to catching up with you. Andrew Seeley, very cool location today. Great project, folks. Andrew, thank you for joining us as well. Love it. Have you ever heard of Rise, Build with Rise?
Yes.
An editorial?
Yes.
So that's Ashley Abernathy. This sounds like my dream home. So Ashley, thank you for joining us today. We always love it when Rise tunes in, and we loved it when you tuned in yesterday as well. Tell Matt, I'm sorry I missed his comment, but we will make it up. All right, let's move on. So Jennifer would love to learn more about residents Are they native or Texas or relocating from other areas? Young families, retirees? I agree, Ashley Abernathy, this does sound like a dream home.
That's a great comment she's asking.
Yeah.
And very quickly, I would say that we have lots of folks moving to Austin.
Yeah.
And wherever they come from in the United States, it seems like they're very excited to find this type of community. We're also finding that there's not just one demographic.
Right.
Young people, older people, families, single folks. The one thing we found they all have in common, they like to save money, and they're excited about being friendly to the earth.
Have you found somebody that doesn't like to save money?
and that's really important.
Yeah.
And when people can save money and do a good thing at the same time, they really enjoy that. They're committed to this lifestyle.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you can get to a point where you not only have a net zero home, but you can control your finances and have a better quality of life, because that causes so many issues.
That's exactly right.
100%, 100%. All right, Jennifer, thank you for that question. Let's roll on here. Jennifer has a bunch of stuff here. We'll ask Tom. Let's go back to Tom. He's outside, so I have to make him stand in the heat. All right, hey, Tom, we're back at you.
All right.
I love it. So why don't you tell us what we're looking at?
So what you're looking at is the front of our Velaway model home, our first model home. We have 3 more that'll be under construction soon in phase 2. We've got about 1,700 square feet here. The Velaway sells for in the low 300s price range. I'm standing right in front of the gardens that you may have seen earlier, so it's a very nice setting for the model home park.
Yeah, that's one of 5 builders. There's different builders with different looks, but they all have the same goal in mind, and that's net zero capable.
That's exactly right.
And that's what's so you're not just stuck on one style of home. Even Tom, I'm sure you have several styles of home in the community as well. Is that correct?
We do have several styles. Actually, when we first came into the community, being first in, I think we tried everything that Taurus had to offer. We did their higher density on the twin homes product. We did 35-foot wide lots with our portico series that were you access from the alley behind, so the front of the homes face each other. Very pretty setting, very neighborhood friendly setting, and we build on his 50-foot and 60-foot homes with our contemporary series that you see behind me, and also our Craftsman series.
Yeah, outstanding. I love it, Tom. Jennifer put up a comment. It says, Tom Lynch, one of the innovative builders from Pacesetter Homes, Texas. This is definitely one of a kind, sustainable neighborhood. I love it. All right, so Tom, you are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's wonderful to see builders really embracing this type of new home building and technology and healthy homes. And you've already 100 some homes or whatever. You're already being successful, but wish you the most success ever.
Thank you very much. Nice being with you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. All right, now. Love it. How cool is that, right? You can tell I have fun doing this, right? Even though I mess up my dials every once in a while.
You make it pretty easy.
So let's a couple more comments, and then we'll come into the final conversation here. So we have Alistair Sawyer, nice product, great concept, and cooperation. Alistair, thank you so much for tuning in today. That's all the way from Vietnam.
Wow.
So Alistair is a big builder and developer, but they build here in the United States as well. So which is great. Thank you for tuning in. And good old George Ryman. What's happening, George Ryman? Certainly impressive. So, George, thanks for tuning in today as well. All right, we'll come back to more comments here in a minute. Let's get through some of these other questions that I have, right? And then we can just talk about whatever we want. Life, kids, we can hit the swimming pool. But we do have one more surprise. Actually, we have 2 more surprises. So we have Betsy and Dennis going to be coming back in here in a second. And we also have Kara Weinstein, who is in the house behind us. Well, in front of us, behind you, in the camera. And Kara is the community manager here. And Kara is going to talk about the community and the people and the types of buyers and what really has their interest and why they've come into this community. So Kara will be joining us in just a few moments. And so will Dennis and Betsy. Why don't we go to Dennis and Betsy now?
Let's do it.
Look at him.
Let's do it.
I can see him in the fish tank there. He's all standing there serious, ready to go. Let's go back to these 2 here. All right, listen, tell us where you are at now, please.
We are standing in the pool.
Yeah.
Let me see. I can see.
Just outside the Discovery Center,
we're standing
waiting
in
in
the
the
water.
water.
I love
Our
it.
time out here, Dave. You gave us the hard job, man.
Listen, I love it. I mean, that's a perfect pool for like kids and family. I mean, because does that actually slope just get deeper and deeper as you walk in?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice gradual slip right into the pool here.
Yeah.
And
Right.
one thing I heard you mention that you got the fruits and vegetables that we sent over. Now, I did put a note in there for a request for a few drinks with umbrellas. So when you get around to it, we'll be waiting.
Yeah, that's
Well, listen,
the thing with the feet in the pool. We just need a good cocktail.
Well, we can end it that way. It looks like there's some beautiful lounge chairs in the water behind you. I think that's a great way to end, and we can run you out some flavored seltzer water.
That'll work.
I love it. So, all right, talk to me a little bit while you're out there, right? So you're standing in the pool, and then behind you, I believe, directly behind you is a gym, I believe, is in that building. Is that accurate?
That's right, the fitness center.
Yeah, so there's the fitness center. So you have a full fitness center here. And I think something else that's really, really impressive about the community, I think it's on the building that's over here. On top of the building, you have a water.
Solar water.
You have solar water, but it's from condensation.
That's exactly right.
So you make your own water on top of the roof.
It's very healthy. It's
Yeah.
very pure, and it comes from the air. So a lot of our, you can go right to the pool and have some of the solar water.
Yeah, I love it. So Dennis, that's a great view. So that's on top of that roof right there.
Yeah.
Hey, go back.
Oh, what's that?
I was saying go back. So it also looks like that's a community center. So it looks like you have a shower outside, maybe a changing room
That's
for the
right.
kids.
That's exactly right.
And what have you. I know when we got here yesterday in the afternoon, when it really gets hot, that pool starts filling up.
Yes, it does. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. The residents love it.
Yeah, I love it. I brought my bathing suit, man. We're
Okay.
maybe going swimming between here.
You're next.
I'm in Connecticut. It's already getting into the 40s at night.
You'll
you know?
enjoy it.
I'm loving it. All right. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the space we're in this afternoon with EcoSmart too. And we'll really walk through it. I mean, I don't know. Let me go back over here to us. We're going to talk about that. And in this space, you can see, I mean, we got geothermal. We got all kinds of displays in here. So it's going to be a lot of fun sharing this stuff with you. So I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, Tom, let me see. Douglas, what did I not ask you yet? Dennis, Betsy, go sit in those lounge chairs. We'll come back to you at the very end.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Hey, listen, you two, you guys were wonderful. Thank you so much for helping us and participating in all this. I love it. Let's go swimming when we're done here. That's where I'm headed.
Easy story to tell here. Thanks.
It is an easy story to tell because it's everywhere. And that's what makes it so much fun. All right, Dennis and Betsy, we'll talk to you in a bit. I got some business to finish up here with Douglas. All right, cool. All right, so last question, and then we're going to get to Kara here in a second. So, all right, so you said there's 5 home builders here, some of who will be, interviewing, like I said, this afternoon. What do you look for in a home builder? Is there a certain DNA? Like, what are the qualifications? Because there's a lot of home builders.
You bet.
How do you figure that out?
What's really wonderful is builders are trying to evolve and they want to become more environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
Many times they don't know how. They're looking for that guidance. So it starts with a builder who wants to address this type of consumer. Mm-hmm. It takes a builder who wants to be a bit of an innovator. What we have found in general, builders are sort of slow to adapt new technologies, new ideas. So we have what we call the early adapters. We have builders that are striving to find a differentiation in the marketplace. And so they're really open-minded. And what they really want is that partnership of how can we reach what we both want to get to. Builders we do, more and more builders are becoming familiar with this and they want to move in this direction. So in summary, I would tell you that we think this is the future. We think that cities like it, landowners like it, builders like it, and mostly consumers like it. Sure. So we think this is the future.
Yeah, I think that's really important to say because I think a lot of people are also feeling that, to include mainly the consumers, with everything that's going on with COVID and the crisis.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, I think it's really putting a spotlight on more sustainable, healthier living in general. Yeah. And I think what you're doing here just fits right into that. Yeah. So, there's some good things that come out of bad things all the time.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right, let me see if I got anything else. So you got Pacesetter Homes with you. Yeah, so we kind of talked about Pacesetter and these other builders, but to become a builder, how do you scrutinize, who they are and what they do, like to make sure they can really meet what you're doing?
Well, you start with builders with a great reputation. You start with builders who build product to meet a certain niche of the market.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that they're going to deliver a product that we can be proud of.
That's right.
So that when we build this platform as a community, where the tire really meets the road is the product that they build. So it's been a great collaboration. We have found that each builder brings a little bit of a different product view. And so we're mixing all of that up into giving a wide range of products. But it's basically that desire to have that partnership with us.
Yeah.
And again, at first it was a little bit different for builders to think about a community like this.
Sure.
But now that they've actually seen it and they've seen consumer responses, they're excited.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Douglas, man, this has been awesome.
I've enjoyed it.
It's been awesome. So, listen, do you mind if we bring Kara in here for a second?
You'll enjoy her even more.
Yeah. Hey, this has been a good interview. So we can't do
Oh,
all
we
that.
can
But I'm
do
going to
that.
pull this off you
Okay.
here.
Okay.
So we keep our social distance going. We're trying here.
Yes.
Kara, come on in
Dave,
and
thank you.
have a seat with us if you don't mind for a second. This is going to be fun too. So I tell you what, if you want to snap it, or you can just hold
Sure.
it. It's whatever you'd like to do.
There we go.
Perfect. So this is what's so great. Yesterday we're sitting here yapping away, and all of a sudden Kara walks in and we start talking. And you were so passionate about the community and the people that are here that it was really important to tell a little bit of that story.
Yeah.
And I want to hear what you do here. If you could tell everybody what you do.
Sure.
And let's get into the type of people that are buying these homes.
Yeah, sure. So I'm the community manager here. So I manage the HOA. I'm the lifestyle director. And then I work very intimately with the development team and the ESS team to make sure that this thing works, right? To make sure that it's a cohesive community, right? It has to be all of these things. It's not just energy efficiency, but it's also technology, and it's also connectivity, and it's also having a real sense of community, right?
Yeah, it really is. So this is what was so intriguing, like yesterday, right? Community to the point where you actually were saying that consumers will come to you and say, well, let's look at this program, like people that live here for energy and all the other stuff. And that's really what got us talking. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, sure. So the homeowners, the folks that are attracted by Whisper Valley, they are well-researched and they are passionate. We've actually identified them as a new consumer group, where we're not just looking at them as first-time home buyers or move-up buyers or the dual income, no kids. We're considering them as sustainable activists. So they come in, they know about the system. They know about green energy. Sometimes they know more about green energy than I do. And I'm like, whoa, okay there. Thank you for the education. They want this community to really speak for what they believe in and how they want to live their lives. Yeah. So again, all aspects. Something that I really believe is changing in the world, and I think you see it with the kind of toothbrush that you buy, or whether or not you have reusable to-go-ware in your car, right? Consumers want to align their purchasing power with their ethical beliefs, right? So this is one of the biggest decisions you can make, is buying a house, right? So people come out here and they want sustainability, they want healthy homes, they need connectivity. We've got Google gigabit internet service, and at first that was a delight for maybe a third of the home buyers, because they're gamers, they are video like filmmakers. They're Bitcoin miners.
Bitcoin miners. I know. I'm learning all kinds of stuff. I didn't know it took so much power to mine for Bitcoins. I guess it does, writing code.
Writing code, doing what they do, it requires so much energy and keeping those servers cool, that they came out here because they're like, one, we need the Google internet service, but two, we need this system in order to cut down on the electricity bills.
Yeah.
And so we've been able to provide that for them.
Yeah, and you're talking about the Geo Grid system, your point behind. Absolutely. We're going to take a second and say hi to a couple people real quick. So we got some pretty interesting people joining us right now. So check this out, and I'll get into. And Doug, we may have some more questions for you. We have Greg Ugaldi, who is the immediate past chairman of the NAHB, tuning in with us right now.
Oh, exciting!
Isn't that exciting as a developer and a builder? So Greg sits at the top of the food chain over at the NAHB. So looking good. Jumped out of a meeting and saw that Dave Cooper was live on location. Greg, we always love it when you tune in, but I have to tell you, Greg, this place is so cool, and what Whisper Valley is doing, and this is a master plan community, the energy efficiency, the sustainability, and it's affordable housing with the latest technology in it. So it's really cool. So I wanted to make sure that that we said hello. And then Paige Ellison Murphy asked, are there, and this is probably maybe for Doug or you as well, are there any other communities in the works? What other cities, states are we looking at? And I think we can get into that with Doug, and we'll bring him back. Or do you know?
Well, I do want to say that one of the larger things that we want to do around here is to really change how the home building industry thinks about master plan communities. So of course we want to get out into other cities and other states. And I do hope that maybe the ESS folks later this afternoon can speak to that as well, because I know that they are really pushing the system out there into the marketplace.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that was cool. So thank you both for asking questions and joining in. I actually see Andrew Seeley has a comment here as well. Do the homes get any energy envelope performance testing to benchmark as built standards prior to move-in?
They do. Every home prior to move-in will receive a HERS rating. So that's the home energy rating system that homes can receive. And currently, new home builds get anywhere from 50 to 70, somewhere in that range of a HERS rating, and that's incredible compared to some of the older homes from the 90s, 80s, 70s.
Right.
Whisper Valley homes are registering in the 20s. So right there, we are more energy efficient than other new builds, and we have a certification that you can attach to your home, so you can say, yes, I have a HERS rating of this.
Yeah, I love it. So let's talk about get back to the homeowners on some of this, and the HERS rating and the energy efficiency and the programs that are in place for financing.
Yeah.
So we just had this conversation recently. Are you finding that more and more banks have green lending programs?
They do. And we've found that banks that don't have green lending programs don't have any heartburn about it. So we haven't had any underwriting issues. There have been times where we brought in, especially all of our builders, they all have in-house lenders. And so we've brought them in and we gave them the tutorial. We educated them on the system. We took them out into the field to show them how everything works. And then we took them into already built homes, so that way they could understand that the home is performing just like a regular home, but so much more energy efficient. So they're able to not have any problems with underwriting the loans.
It almost is it's a better loan form, more secure. They know the house is built to a different standard.
It's built to a different standard, and everyone has predictable utility bills. So if you think about it, homes, an energy bill can vacillate, hugely. During different seasons. Here in Whisper Valley, those energy bills are going to be constant, so homeowners can budget better, right? Yeah.
And the banks can budget better, knowing that they're underwriting a loan that people truly can afford, that doesn't have some astronomical utility bills. And I think that's just another feather in their cap. And we're looking at more, and why I bring this up, more banks are getting into this, but we still need more across the country to participate.
Very much so. And I would also like to say that we haven't had any issues with traditional conventional loans or FHA loans, USDA loans, or vet loans.
Oh, VA as well.
Yeah, the VA loans as well. So we have retired veterans here in our community, and they flew through their lending process because there weren't any issues.
Yeah. I love it. So, Kara, let's get back to the consumer. So, what do you love the most about the community and the members that are moving in? Because you have all different walks of life, but they all have a common goal.
They all have a common goal. They all have this common, they're all the same tribe, right? So they all want to live a sustainable lifestyle,
Right.
a more connected lifestyle. Part of that connection is knowing your neighbor. I have seen so many different instances of homeowners literally bringing each other cups of flour, sugar, eggs, because they're cooking, because everyone's baking bread, right? I got so many loaves of sourdough during the pandemic. Everyone's cooking. They watch each other's kids. They let out each other's dogs. They put in each other's trash cans. One of the most heartwarming stories, we had a woman in her 80s who decided, she heard about Whisper Valley, and she decided she wanted to leave her assisted living facility so that she could be part of this community.
Right.
And when the neighbors found out, they rallied around and they helped her install shelves. They helped her put in her refrigerator. They helped her go grocery shopping and get connected. It's that kind of sense of community. Oh my gosh. They love hanging out with each other. People that have never met each other before, and they're having these progressive dinners. And this is obviously before COVID, but they would start off at one person's house,
Right.
and they would have 10 different houses to visit throughout the evening. And there were 60 people wandering
The streets.
the streets, going to each other's houses and enjoying each other's company. They come to pizza nights that we have here. They come to yoga classes that we have every Saturday morning. They've come to healthy cooking classes. Did you know that pasta is healthy if you make it yourself?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that's what we like to do around here. We like to have lifestyle events that not only teach you how to have the healthy lifestyle,
Right.
incorporate veggies from the garden.
Yeah, look at this. It's
Right.
just freshly picked.
Yeah, because okra is it grows really well in this climate and in this soil. And so we follow permaculture practices in our gardens. So we don't want to use any chemicals or do anything that would be destructive to the ground. But what do you do with okra? Not everybody knows.
Right.
So that's why we try to incorporate these cooking classes.
Yeah.
And then by doing so, the retired school teacher gets to hang out with the Bitcoin miner, gets to hang out with retired military, gets to hang out with financiers, tech people.
Right.
They're all coming from these different backgrounds, old economy jobs, new economy jobs. But we're creating a lifestyle that really encourages connectivity,
Right.
and getting to know your neighbor.
And one of the stories that you were talking about yesterday is the neighbors will actually get together and talk about their utility bills. Like,
Oh,
so there's
yeah.
a culture happening. But, well, how is your utility bill $10 more than mine? I don't understand. And then they start trying to figure out why. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what's fun about it. It's a mind shift of how you live.
It is. And it starts from the very beginning when they're just a prospective homeowner and they come in here and we show them, what it is that we do here. And it starts with me encouraging their healthy energy habits, because that's really where you can start to gamify your system.
Right.
Like doing your chores during the daylight when you've got solar energy, right?
Yeah.
So the conversation with our homeowners begins there. And then once they move in, they show each other, they've got apps on their phones that show their utility usage and their utility production. And they're starting their own diaries and they compare like, oh, okay, well, it was 74 degrees out on this day and I did this, this, and that, and I got this result.
Right.
What did you do? And the other person was like, oh, I kept it at 68 degrees because I like to keep it cold. And they had, a
there's a
different
price to
energy
pay
bill.
for it.
Yeah, completely.
There's a price to pay for it. But that's what's so great, because you have adults essentially doing this, and you have all their children watching and learning.
These kids, the kids that grow up in Whisper Valley, are never going to know anything different other than energy efficient habits and sustainable lifestyles. And like I think about that, and I'm getting goosebumps like just talking about it. I've got a group of kids. We had a baby boom just a couple of months ago where we had 8 babies born in Whisper Valley, and all of these kiddos are going to learn from the very beginning
Right.
the best way to live in a home.
I love it. I mean, I think the whole thing is just absolutely amazing. And again, you know, it's kind of, I compare it to NASCAR. To watch it on TV doesn't do any justice, but if you actually show up, there's a lot of science behind it and what they do. And that's what it's like here when you show up and you actually see all of this happening in the community. And then you have people like yourself. I mean, there's real, what's the best word? There's educated people and all these different facets that run this community, helping everybody be one.
Yes.
And that's the power of what you have going on here.
It really is. You know, I'm a little bit on the hippy dippy side. So to see everyone embracing technology in a way that is going to help to change how we live in homes. That's the thing that really gets to me. And that's why I love this job, is that we are pushing forward the home building industry. And I just love it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just looking to see if we have any more comments, and then we're gonna go back to Dennis and Betsy, who are sitting in the pool. But we had a question. Actually, it was for Douglas. Let's see if you can answer. Douglas, have you had to make any adjustments to the homes? Or here comes Douglas in case we need them. But I have to tell you, Kara's got it, man. We may not need you anymore. Have you had to make any adjustments to homes or community areas in terms of indoor air quality or ventilation? ? With fresh air so important right now, did you have to make any of those modifications? Was the question.
Honestly, these ground source heat pumps help to clean the air. They dehumidify the air as they are working. So it is a cleaner indoor environment, and no modifications had to be made to the builder's plans. And that's, again, one of the unique things about Whisper Valley, and why it's a scalable solution, is that production home builders who find it very difficult to change their plans and their architecture just because of the way that their business models work. We make it easy for them to plug and play and automatically make the homes cleaner for the folks living there. Again, that's why the HERS ratings are getting so low. It's that because it's not just that the system is energy efficient, it's also that the homes are cleaner. The air is better for you.
Yeah, 100%. So, all right, Kara, I think this is absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to, we got more coming this afternoon, so everybody just hang tight. So let's go back to Dennis and Betsy, because I think they are lounging in the pool. Housing Innovation Alliance, laying down on the job. Let's go see what they're doing here. All right.
It's a rough life, Dave.
Yeah. Come on, Dave. You don't have to out like that.
So, all right. So I know you guys can hear me. I mean, how comfortable is it right now?
Oh, it's pretty awesome. There's actually a little bit of the pool in here, so you can stick your feet in the water and lay down at the same time. How can
I think it's great. I'm coming out to visit you in like 5 minutes, so you better save me a seat. So listen, you guys, and I'm gonna go back to our other view here so Kara can be part of our conversation.
Can I add one more thing about the pool?
Oh, go.
So the pool has a ground source heat pump system attached to it. So we can extend swim season into early February and as late as, mid-December, because here in Texas, we get 75-degree days in December and as early as February.
Right.
So we keep the pool open year round, so that way kiddos can come out and folks alike. So
listen,
again,
we're moving here, Dennis and Betsy. We don't get 75 degrees in December ever.
No.
No.
Let's set up a new headquarters. I'm in.
Yeah. Right there is a perfect place. So listen, Dennis and Betsy, I mean, this is what's so great about the Housing Innovation Alliance, and I've been fortunate enough to travel and do other things with them. But you guys really focus on innovation and bringing to the forefront what's happening across the country and across the world, bringing a lot of thought leaders together that are doing amazing things. You guys are just doing awesome stuff, and it's a real privilege to come to these places and meet everybody, I have to tell you.
Well, we appreciate that too, and it's been great working with you as well, Dave. And you guys have done such a fantastic job setting us up for this visit. So we've got a lot of other people we're going to be interviewing today, some on camera and some off. So I'm looking forward to talking to some more of your homeowners over the course of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd like to say thank you all for coming out, and everyone who is watching, please visit us on our website, whispervalleyaustin.com. I try to answer every single email that comes through, and so if there are further questions about lifestyle or HOA, how the HOA operates within this community, I'm happy to be available to answer any questions.
Yeah, and we'll make sure everything's in the comments. And remember, everyone, this information lives on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, so you can go back and watch it anytime that you want. Meet the people that we're going to be interviewing. We're going to have micro content going out, the bits and pieces of what we talked about here, probably within the next few hours. So there's a lot happening right now. So just listen, tune in today, tomorrow. We're bringing it to you. We're bringing it to you live. We're bringing it to you recorded, and we're bringing it to you with our feet in the pool.
Amazing.
All right. Well, listen, Dennis, Betsy, I will see you guys in a few moments, and we'll get back to it. I'm going to say goodbye to Kara here. Thank you guys for all your participation, and we're going to have more for you soon.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Kara.
You're welcome. All right, Kara, listen, this has been great. Can you believe it's been an hour and 15 minutes of this?
I know. I could keep talking too, but
we're just scratching the surface.
I do think I need to put some food in your bellies, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's time. It's getting close to lunch. Yeah.
Dinner's good. So, all right, listen. So Tom and Doug, they're in the background everywhere, and Jody and others. Listen, this has been such a great experience. We're going to bring more to you, EcoSmart Homes, here this afternoon. We're going to talk about everything that they are doing within this community and how they run the community and they work with all the homeowners. So that's going to be great. So make sure you tune in for that. We're going to do our outro. I made this a product spotlight last minute. I know it's not Wednesday, but that's the outro we're using. So we're just going to have to live with it. So I'm Dave Cooper. We are at Whisper Valley in Austin, Texas. If you don't know about it, you should. 2,000 acres of affordable, sustainable homes and living. That's right. And they're net zero capable, affordable and sustainable. So check it out. I'm Dave Cooper. We will see you in a few hours. Bye now. Say bye.
Bye-bye.